Greetings, long life and prosperity to all of you. Welcome to Constant Companion Theories. Let's talk Tridactyls. And I don't know if my camera is fully jiving with me today. I think I'm frozen. I'm having a lot of issues, I notice. I got too many things open. So, we may try a couple of different things to get us out of that predicament. One could simply be to close all these silly windows I have open. I just wanted to make sure all my social media was up and running. So instead of looking at my frozen face, let's get right into some Tridactyl news. Dun, 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 dun. Turn down that music. There's a fine line, background music, that I seem to cross now and then. So, looks like my camera's a little iffy. Again, hopefully as I start to close some of these windows. So look at this great shot here from Gonzalo Chavez, who is runs the Tridactyls.org, which we will also look at today. Tridactyls.org. We'll put that up on our window next for everyone to take a look at. I do recommend every week you check out the latest and greatest in Tridactyl news. And one of the ways you can do that is definitely check my page. Follow Mr. Chavez also. He's got his ear to the ground. He knows exactly what's happening. Let's see if I can restart my camera. That's funny. I was having issues with it, so I thought something could go awry. We've got a couple of winners on our Tridactyl heads out there. I don't think they've sent me their addresses. That's a Citizen and Sky. I believe you two guys owe me an address so I can send you a Tridactyl head. Yeah. Let's still trying to get my good old camera working. I guess I'm just going to turn it off and on. And that's probably the best way. Let's go ahead and do a little promotions on ourselves, people. You'd like to go to tridactyls.com, where you can see I have posted a couple of videos and a couple of papers that gives my suspicions on what these guys are. Let's make sure our comments are open for those of you who like to follow along. Here we go. We've got Gears. I know Gears is... I'm sure he'd like to win ahead. Clapping with 3 fingers must be hard. Yeah, that's probably part of it, huh? Let me go ahead and share a different screen here with you. So here's our Tridactyls.org screen. They've got a groovy little logo that incorporates the hand. What else? Look at that. I'm frozen in space here. Should I just leave that there so you have me to look at? How aggravating. Oh, gosh. Oh, you can't even see me on that screen. I'd have to share a different screen with you. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see if that did anything in our world. Yep, I hate when things go wrong in tech world. I'm not very good at trying to fix it, and I get frustrated. Flustered even, I will go as far to say. So it just knocks me off of my groove. So what are we looking at here? We're tridactyls.org. Oh, look at that. My screen's crazy on there too. I just noticed. let's just share the TV screen. Well, this might be a shorter stream than I thought tonight. So there's that. All right. So awesome. So once you sign up for this, you can see I'm signed in currently. Then you should be able to download the files yourself. Or if you need to, you can just go to the Alien Project and go right into their section there, their discovery section. And that's super fun. Not as complex as the DICOMs. And we can go right into, let's say, Paul and family, because I like what they're calling the humanoid reptiles. In fact, I think the biologist Wrangle gave Maria the genus of Homo. I don't think that's right. But this will all be worked out by science eventually, won't it? So yeah, you can go right to Paul and family there, and you can look at all of the different files yourself. We can just let this play even. So I don't like to show that too much because, again, you guys should just go there yourself. Go to their website. Yeah, I can't seem to get this camera to work. There's only one thing to do, I guess, is I don't know what to do. I guess I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going with the show. Despite the camera being bonk, we're just going to have to stay focused. So really, what I wanted to do today is I thought we should go over things for people who are new, and maybe some of you guys can help me get the facts straight even, because I don't know, my memory is getting worse, you know? So sometimes I'll say something wrong, and we want to make sure we're all on the same page. So for example, those of you that know, were the mummies found in 2015 or 2016? Now, I'm pretty sure that Theory, Jamin, he himself had suggested that in his book, I believe that it was 2016. But I think he was also implying that perhaps the Huaqueros, the so-called grave, perhaps they were onto the bodies before that. So that's something to think about. So that's really one of the first personalities involved is Theory. We can look him up on his page. He's on his homepage. As soon as you open the homepage of the Alien Project, you'll see him. There he is. So he's really the first personality. And of course, this again is happening in Peru. And we don't want to confuse Peru with Jaime Maussan in Mexico. And of course, Jaime is not a researcher. He is he's not a scientist, I should say. He is a reporter. And Jaime has inserted himself, I feel, into the phenomena, much like I did, to be honest. And because of his reputation, it's somehow tainted the entire. Well, I don't want to just blame him. After all, Theory did name the site the Alien Project, and he is using terms like reptilians, isn't he? So I'm not sure if those are really the best terms, really, if that even helps us with our mission statement, as it were. So let's make sure we get some of those facts straight. Also, there is a list of labs. We've probably posted it before. So they're from all different countries. So you can't be casting shade on South American or Mexican labs. Okay, good. So Gears is great for keeping me on track and getting me on some paths. So I've probably used incorrect terms before for the fingerprints, but our fingerprints, I believe they use the term are whorls, specifically. So WHORLS, I believe, whorls. And our tridactyl friends do not have whorls, do they? They have sort of parallel lines. And we can go ahead, and since thanks again, Gears, it's good to throw a topic at me. Yeah, that's funny. This week's show is a little loosey-goosey. Again, I just wanted to do like a review of certain things. So let's go ahead and pull up a nice picture of some fingerprints, just so we can all be on the same page. I'm going to need a computer checkup if there's a computer doctor out there. I feel like everything's slow and things don't load, and I don't know what's going on. I mean, look, my camera's not working tonight, right? Even now, it's like, oh, well, here you go. Here's a big close-up of tridactyl fingerprints. Does it even have that cross-hatching when we look at it deep close like that? How interesting, huh? That's very cool to see it so big and vibrant. I mean, I have it on my television screen. Let's see if we can find a couple more fingerprints. I think this is just skin. You see like these sort of cellular structures, these cross hatchings, I still call them. Yeah. Here's a nice diagram from someone just pointing out the linear fingerprints. Yeah, so Gear also pointed out that, and I believe it's Maria. Maria has some fecal matter. I think is that the fecal matter may have been what they discovered evidence of grapes with, perhaps. Not sure. So we're just talking about theory and Jaime, and we're talking about the fingerprints here. So hollow bones, of course, most people know hollow bones from birds, but let's ask the computer what animals have hollow bones, just so we can be. So, of course, birds, right? Most species. Some non-avian dinosaurs, theropods, sauropods, which had air sacs and hollow limb bones. See that? That would be something for the dual pineal gland, perhaps, to be part of. I'm wondering if we're going to find that they have two distinct brains. I know we have lobes and all, but pterosaurs, so extinct flying reptiles, and certain amphibians and reptiles show partial pneumatization. So, of course, Suye, and let's use, since we're talking hollow bones, why don't we go ahead and go to the Alien Project so that we can go right to, where is it? I don't see it. So we can go right to Suye. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. It could be coming up in my search bar, right? What is this nonsense? Let's move it over here. I know I had it all set up, right? Am I getting like verklempt again? I'm so verklempt. I need a studio operator here. So what are we looking at? We're looking at some fingerprints, but we're talking about the hollow bone. So I thought, why not go and open the 3D viewer on Suye, and so we can get a better look at hollow bones and maybe any other. Okay. Let's share. Share and share alike. Wow. Where'd it go? I may have... Again, more technical difficulties. I had some other technical difficulties at my house today, so go figure. I got a lot of things not working right now. So, again, I may have to wrap this up earlier because it's a little frustrating. Okay, what are we looking at? We wanted to look at Suye, so we want it from here. There she is. Okay, cool. So there we go. Suze, and again, go here yourself. You can go here right now with me, and we could do it together. So we are looking at Suye, and so it says the diatom layer. So that's showing us the diatomaceous earth, which would have had to have been made and processed with heat, and it would have been quite the endeavor to create this. I suggest that these beings are the impetus for the water cat myths, for your Sphinx myths, and a host of other chimera-like monsters in our background. So one of the first things I usually do is take off the diatomaceous layer. We could probably put a little bit more. I can't work my operating system right now on the stream. What the heck, you guys? I'm just like trying to close things at this point because that's usually the problem. I've got too much stuff open. Okie doke. What do we got going on? So we take off the diatomaceous earth layer, and we can take off this tissue layer here. We take off the muscle tissues. Okay, we got some spongeal bones, so that's not a bad place to leave it at. We want to start getting to the nitty-gritty of it all. So, of course, this is the thing they call the insectoid, which without it having 6 limbs, mandibles, segmented eyes, that's hard for me to accept. I guess they're suggesting that perhaps it has a bit of a shell here. It's an extended, wide plate, isn't it? I mean, now is that something from Metamorphosis? Is that what that is? This bony butt? And of course, this is the species with the interesting eminences in the back. I can't control my comments right now either, guys. If you guys are watching, normally I share the comments. That's not working right now either. So I'm just trying to close stuff in the hopes that something comes to. All right, what else can we do with this Suye? Looks like we can reduce it some more. There we go. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so now we can start to see in the blue is some of the pneumatic areas. So the skull. If you ever get screwed up in the world, just zoom out. Okay. There's people that were concerned that the skull looked like llama teeth, but the llama teeth wouldn't have all those hollow spaces in it like this skull does. So that's kind of So, I mean, I think this is good evidence for those eminences helping some sort of creature perhaps float at the surface. Yeah, maybe. You can see, you can even get right down to the eggs, and you could even zoom in on the eggs. And you never know, you might find something like I did on Artemis. But again, really, this is mostly fun for you guys to do on your own. I just want everyone to know you can do this. You don't need me or other people. You can start to interact and make your own decision as to what you're looking at. Oh, look at that. The white screen of death. How about this instead? So as I said, we're kind of doing a review of everything. So why not start with these guys? We've looked at Suye. We've looked at the insectoid. So why not look at some of these guys here? So Josephina is sort of Tridactyl number 1 many times. This is the one that I guess you call it the type specimen. And Alberto is sort of specimen number 2. They did assign male to Alberto. I guess maybe just because of he is different than Josephina. Note too, we have Josephina on the screen and we've got Luisa. So we can see some of the similarities in perhaps the eggs and, of course, the implants, right? So we can always zoom in here. Now I have to remember how to zoom in because it's different than the program I'm just on. So it's like flying a different ship in a video game or something. All right, so there we go. Nice close-up of the implant, which I believe these are mostly copper and mostly South American alloys, but we definitely want to learn more about the copper if it's moving down the Mississippi and perhaps headed into South America. Copper is big on people's minds. We want to keep connecting those Great Lakes to Europe. And we've got the haplotype X, which a lot of people are talking about again. In fact, I saw Matt Beal repost 2 maps that I've been posting. So maybe he is watching. I don't know. That's another thing, guys. We found some great things. We found pineal glands. We found frog tailbones. We found larva forms and eggs. And we don't get a lot of coverage. So I don't know. Am I not supposed to worry about that? Should I not worry about not getting coverage? It just feels like, I don't know. Maybe they just think we're just another fringe ancient aliens, guys. But when in reality, I'm one of the only archaeologists and paleo guys working on the Tridactyls, working on them full time. Okay, what else can we say? Let's go zoom in on Josephina's implant since we're talking about her. She's sort of, what do they call her? Non-human, was it? NA? I forget the original term. NA number 1. All right. Now these, of course, the DICOMs. You'll have to get access for those. But in the meanwhile, you go to the other site we were just on. Alberto, of course, his ear bone was noted by Miles, but he didn't go into detail how it looks like Alberto, as those of you that have been watching know that he, there it is. He looks like he had an operation of sorts. And that ear bone that you're seeing there, well, you're not supposed to be able to see that. In fact, if we just looked at the others, right? Oh my God, his neck's so long. I'm trying. It's like a naked gun gag here. So look at that. That is the inside of his ear. That's actually, what do they call this? The auditory meatus you can see, and these are a couple of different of these canal chambers going this way and that. And again, you're not supposed to be able to see this. In fact, you could almost see on one of the images of where it was, and it was more down here, but in the interior. Let's go ahead and look at a healthy skull like Louisa. And yeah, this space in here, I think we can see the outline. Let's zoom in on her skull. Maybe we'll learn something new. That's the other. Whoa. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be people out there, there's going to be kids out there who are going to be able to manipulate this much better than old man, Mr. Ed. Oh, look at that. There we go. Yeah, so you can still see the outline, but on Alberto, it is up here behind the eye. It is as though they pivoted it. And if you go to my page, you can see more images on the interior ears. Okay, we also wanted to go over other body parts, and I think Victoria, the one I call the seated god, is a good one to look at for that, because we can talk about the fused interclavicle, which is a wishbone. And so, of course, Victoria doesn't have a head, and I think that is related to certain myths in our tales. Victoria also has, of course, a injured hip. Half of this hip is missing. I suggest that leg probably grew back, which is why it looks a little more robust than the left leg. But we're looking right now at the interclavicle. And yeah, someone said it's more of a faux furcula. It's not a true furcula. I think that's depicted in art, though, guys. I think probably our necklaces, our gorgets, all these sort of things that maybe even tribal people wear around their neck are probably some emulation of this. And this also gives you a great look into the ribs and the spinal cord of Victoria. This will probably get me in trouble because it's kind of gory. And Victoria is also good for looking at the stomach ribs. Maybe that's why this is, in some myths, this might represent some sort of a turtle being because of the abdominal ribs. A nice shot at the bottom of the feet there, huh? While we're going through it. Yeah. Well, let's see if did the camera ever come back? Camera never came back. Okay. Well, on that note, let's see if we can, hey, Sky, keep on keeping on. Yeah. Oh, is my chat working again? Yeah. So, I don't know. Again, I'm a little out of sorts. Isn't that weird? You don't need to see me. But I feel like this is a video stream, so it's like I should be talking to you guys, right? I think I'm going to wrap this early, but thanks for watching. That was our review of the tridactyl forms. And